DESIblitz.com.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously I've been in the Lions program for the last few years, and I think the last year or so has shown a big difference. Like when you're playing Lions now, you feel a lot closer that you could be potentially playing for the main side. So obviously getting picked into that 55 was massive for me, because obviously I want to be playing Test cricket, and then getting picked into the 30-man squad. I mean, it's great being around with the boys, getting a taste of what it's really like at this level, and with the coaches and everything like that. So far it's been really good, and I'm really enjoying it. Yeah, so basically when we arrived, we first had to drop off our luggage at the front, and then that got all sanitized and sent to our rooms, and then we had to go through a heat scanner, get our temperature checked, and then we all had COVID tests, and then we're kind of isolating until the results came back. There's been some obviously very good measures being put in place regarding, keeping the safety, wearing masks indoors and different things like that, and there's been a lot of information given to us. So yeah, in terms of the setup, yeah, it is very different. I mean, when you're having food at lunch and things like that, it's like two people on a table. It's almost like you're on a dinner date or something. And then the rest is pretty chilled out, to be honest. The nets are pretty similar. We're just obviously trying to keep the social distancing, but with everyone not testing positive, I think the environment's a lot calmer. I think obviously we have dinner together, or obviously you don't see everybody at the same time, but I think I've introduced myself to everybody, and there's been a warm welcome. All the boys are really good, and they're very welcoming. Obviously you've got guys who have been playing for a long time, so that can be a bit intimidating sometimes in any environment, but everyone's been really nice, and it's really nice to be part of this environment. There's always a spinners union regardless. I think there's only not one when you're playing against each other. But yeah, I think all the boys are really good. I've met all of them before. I played against them before, done Lions tours and things like that with them. And it's a great opportunity for me to learn from some of the more experienced guys as well. So, I'm really enjoying myself so far. I mean, how important was it? I don't think I'd be here if that didn't happen. I think maybe my approach has always been a lot more focused on just my bowling and my cricket, rather than now using that term a bit loosely. I think cricket now obviously includes everything. It's your fitness, it's everything that happens all day really. So I think it's just that I probably didn't put as much focus on that part of my game as I should have, and I think that it probably took something like that for me to understand how important it was. And yeah, I think it's a big, almost I want to say a big thank you to Surrey and DESIblitz and Vikram Solanki and all the other coaches that have really supported me, because I think and my teammates, I think because at that time, maybe if that didn't happen, I probably would have struggled then progressing to the next level, although I'm still trying to make my name at county level. But yeah, I'm a lot fitter now. Obviously I wouldn't probably be here if I wasn't fitter, but yeah, I think it's definitely something that I've embraced a lot more now. Yeah, I mean, obviously, you guys already know DESIblitz. I think his physique speaks for itself, and he's honestly just a legend. That's a phrase that I don't use very often, but he's worked really hard with me. He's pushed me, and he's shown a lot of belief with me. And what I've noticed is it's had a big impact a lot on my bowling and everything like that as well. And it's something now that I really look forward to doing. And he's definitely given me a big motivation and opened my eyes really to what's like to come. I mean, a lot of the players here, you see how hard they're training, and obviously now England's seen as one of the fittest sides in the world. So, that is a minimum standard now. So I've got to make sure that, I'm hitting those at a minimum, and, trying to improve myself all the time. Obviously, my fitness is a lot better that I'm here. I'm a lot fitter than I was, and I'm hitting a lot of those minimum standards, or most of them now. So I think now for me, it's just it's not almost seeing things as minimum standards, but just making sure that I'm fit enough to play the game, and making sure that, you know, even after a long day's play, that I'm ready to go the next day. And that's key for me, especially wanting to play Test cricket. I think that obviously I'm here, so I want to be playing Test cricket. You know, whenever that comes, I'm going to keep trying my hardest to make sure that I'm playing. And I think I don't really try to impress as such. Like, I think I want to do my own thing and be who I am, and that's what I want to show people what I'm capable of doing, rather than trying to do other things or trying to forcefully show my skills. So I think so far, I mean, I've just been myself, and I've just been bowling and doing all my other skills and things like that. But coming to, you know, what my focus is, yeah, I definitely do want to be playing the first Test match, or at least being in the squad. If I didn't want to do that, then I probably shouldn't be here. But I'm very proud of myself that I've got to this stage, and that I'm in this squad. So now the next stage is now pushing this place. So whenever that does happen, I'm just going to keep working hard. I mean, my first memories, I mean, I always look at spinners. That's just something that it's always appealed to me. The first thing I did with the cricket ball was bowl spin. So, I mean, growing up watching, you know, like Graham Swan and Monty bowling, I think that was very inspirational to me.
Down the ground, this is going to be out, caught him on. Yes, taken. Yes. In the air, and it's all over. All over for Matthews. Checked his shot. That's good bowling by Swan.
To me a lot, obviously with Monty as well, because he looks very similar to me. So especially being from the community I am, we're a minority in a lot of industries. So when you do see someone progressing and doing well in that particular field that you're in, it really motivates you and shows you that you can do it if they're doing it as well. So yeah, I mean, especially with England, those are the two main guys that I used to really enjoy bowling. I really enjoy watching Moeen bowl now as well. That's been really good to see how he goes about his business, and he's a great help in the nets, and whenever you're around him, he's always helpful to give you advice. But yeah, I'd say those are my memories. Kind of seeing Graham Swan ripping through plays in the Ashes and things like that. Those have been some fun memories. I mean, in my setup as a bowler, I think it's the fundamental thing. I think you got to be aggressive, and you've got to be looking to take wickets. And you know, maybe the pitches aren't always going to be suited to you, but I think as a spinner, even if you are looking to keep it tight or whatever you're trying to do, I think my eyes are always on taking wickets regardless. And I think obviously being young, I'm still learning my skill and getting better at my skills. So I mean, you will bowl the odd loose ball, or you know, you might not get 6 balls in the perfect space, but I think you'll bowl a lot more wicket-taking deliveries, and that's what makes you dangerous, when a batsman knows that you can get them out on any wicket. So I mean, it's a tough skill, but I'm going to keep driving towards becoming the best at that as possible. I mean, that's a big topic there, especially when there's so many factors. I think with anything, a lot of, even my friends now, I think a lot of them, I think it's a big mindset change. I'll try and answer the question as best as possible, because there's a lot of avenues you can go down with this stuff. But I think a lot of it is to do with your mindset and definitely your upbringing. It's like, you know, growing up, a lot of people's parents support India, for example. So you grew up supporting India, or wherever you're from, or your family background is. And I think that what's fundamental is, even from a young age, I've always supported England. So I think that that's important, is to have that mindset firstly. And I think that secondly, I think it can be very daunting for a lot of people from minority communities to be playing cricket just within your community and then moving to a bigger club. Like, for example, I started at Indian Gymkhana Cricket Club, which is a majority Asian cricket club, and I found it quite daunting then moving to Sunbury, which I've been at since I was about 12 years old. But it was the best move for my cricket, because I think it's important to play within a standard where it's recognised, and you know, you've got ex-pros at your club and you've got a lot of support there. So in terms of that, I think that's important. It's also to do with, you know, I think also a lot of kids from minorities. I think it's changing now, but maybe don't go to private schools and different things like that. Maybe they're first generation here or second generation here, so maybe they might not be able to afford those opportunities. So that also can have a bit of a problem because maybe they're not seeing you playing as cricket as much in the county setup, because obviously they keep an eye on a lot of county setups and things like that. So there's a lot of different avenues, but I think also a lot of people don't understand how much commitment it really takes from a parent. And I think that's where, if you're at a private school, you're getting cricket there on a weekly basis or a few times a week. Whereas if you're at a state school, for example, some like my school didn't even play cricket. So I think that's another avenue. And also the fact with what was I going to say? Also the fact with parents, like I'm really lucky that my parents were really supportive. But a lot of people's parents, they're busy making ends meet and they don't have time necessarily to take the kids to practice. But, I'm so thankful to my mum and dad that they took out so much time to support me, driving me up and down the country for cricket. And without that, I wouldn't be here. So there's a lot of factors involved. But yeah, I think definitely education I think a big thing I think that should be done is more education for the minority communities and for parents to know how the actual county system works, because a lot of people that I speak to there don't even know how to start. So I think that's really important, and there's so much talent, as you guys have seen, from so many different communities, that I think it definitely needs to be tapped into. I mean, I'm always working at different things when it comes to my bowling, just seeing what's the best thing, but not trying to lose my kind of natural skill, which is spinning the ball. Outside of that, I haven't really worked on much, really. I mean, yeah, I think it's important to have variety in all formats. I do have variations that I do bowl. But I think at the end of the day, you need to make sure that you stock balls in the best possible place before trying all these different things. I think in white ball cricket it's different maybe, but for red ball cricket, I find that, it's easy to get distracted with a lot of variations, but there's no harm in having different things in your armory. Obviously, my coach from a young age has been Sakleen Mushtaq, who obviously invented the Doosra, so I'm quite lucky that I've got a top coach there. But yeah, when it comes to variations, I think you're always working at different things. There's so many different types of variations. Don't have to be out of the hand, can be on the crease or your pace or whatever. So yeah, I'm always working at different things. However, the main thing is just getting that stock ball as good as possible. In my group, there's Parky, Parky, and we've got Mo and me. Yeah, he's definitely a seasoned spinner. I mean, it's more just, I think it's just how free people are with their advice. There's like you can ask whatever you want, and they'll always try to help you as much as possible. Whatever opportunity I've had in the past, I always try to ask him a few questions, because I think a lot of the best information you can get is from the people who are currently playing, because they know what's happening in the game and they're doing it. So in terms of that advice is a lot of the time invaluable. So I mean, chatting with him's been really good, and obviously bowling with him in the nets has been really good as well. Can't remember the last time I trained with Pat. Actually, it would have been maybe a couple of years ago now, maybe in 2018 season. But whenever I do see him, I mean, he's so enthusiastic and energetic about spin bowling. It's almost, you get that like kind of feeling of like the kid in the sweet shop kind of thing.
No English success. Here's Pocock. Bowling. And he thoroughly deserved that, Pat Pocock. At long last, he might say. And in fact, he's probably saying so. What a good innings from Winston Davis. Within 23 of his century, that might sound a lot, but it's a great achievement for number 11 to come in as night watchman.
And his energy is unbelievable, and he loves talking about spin bowling. And I think I spent about an hour with him, and I think I was meant to bowl a few overs. I think I ended up bowling about 5 balls, because he was just showing me all these different things that he knows how to do, and his knowledge is really, really good. So in terms of what he was showing me, it's just that I think obviously when he played, maybe they didn't have out of the hand variations and all these different things that you see now. But what he did know, what was really interesting was seeing how he used his lines on the crease. So he was talking about, a lot of people, they bowl around the wicket, but they just bowl from the same place, for example. So technically not really changing the angle too much. So he was talking about how to change the angles, how to find your line when you're struggling to find your line, and just being very loose and rhythmical in your run up and in your release. So that's been quite handy. So whenever I've met him, it's always been really good.